So myself and my husband, and then we have two kids. Our oldest is Aaron, he's 14, and our youngest is Sydney, she's 12, and she is our child with Dravet. She was 1 day short of turning 3 months old, and I was giving her a bath, and I noticed that her arms and her legs were shaking. And at first I thought maybe she's just cold. So I quickly got her out of the tub and kind of wrapped her up. And it probably lasted about 3 minutes or so before it finally stopped. And I just had a feeling in the pit of my stomach that something wasn't right. And my husband was at work at that time. So when he got home from work later that day, I said to him, I think Sydney might have had a seizure today. But I really wasn't sure. So 3 days later, it was New Year's Eve, and it was in the evening, and same thing, I was giving Sydney a bath again, about 8 o'clock, and she started again, but it was a lot more violent, what we would call today a generalized tonic-clonic seizure. She turned blue in her face. My husband was home at that time, so I was screaming down the stairs for him, "Get up here, she's doing it again." And we pulled her out and put her on the bed, and she just wouldn't stop and wouldn't stop.
I just gave her a few more minutes to see if anything would stop, and it didn't. So we called 911. That's when they came out.
Well, it was months later. She was around, I think she was 11 months old when we finally got the call from the neurologist that told us or confirmed that she had Dravet syndrome. Her seizures were horrible from the beginning. Status events every week, constant rescues, just crazy, and nobody could figure out what was wrong. So of course I was researching online trying to figure out what's wrong with my child, and had read some different things, and I came across Dravet syndrome, and when I read it I just remember thinking, oh, please don't let it be that, so I had heard of it, and then when the doctor called with the news, we went into research mode, and how can we fix her?
Well, she went into research mode. I'm more of a I go off of her. I don't want to know anything. I just take it as it comes a lot of the time, which I think is a lot of the guys that say, I'll just deal with it when it comes about. So everything I know about Dravet is from her, not from the computer. So.
We have some good days. We definitely have bad days as well. She still has at least 1 to 2 of the grand mal type seizures weekly. They're always status. We always still have to rescue them. But a lot of the smaller seizures that used to number into the thousands, those have kind of gone by the wayside. We only have a few here and there, so it's better than it was, but more status probably than what we would like still at this point. We have a nurse for her, and her nurse goes with her on the van to school and stays with her all day. And her school time is limited. She only goes about 4 hours a day, and it's like every other day she goes. It's just been difficult. Just learning to live differently. The life that we're living is not, I think, what we expected.
Not typical, although everybody asks, how do you guys do what you do? Because we do. We try to keep her life as normal as possible, keep our family life as normal as a family could be with her condition. We don't try to avoid certain circumstances except for maybe triggers of hers. We try, like I said, we go to amusement parks, we do camping on the weekends as often as possible. We try to make it a normal family as possible for our older son also.
So we weren't experts at that though, by far, because in the early days, it was a lot of protecting her, keeping her away from things we knew were triggers, so we've kind of grown in our role, I think, as Dravet parents, and finally realized you can't protect them from everything. You got to let them get out there and live their life too. And we also, I think, recognized that our son deserved some normalcy. Yeah. So, we just had to push it as far as we could to give him some normalcy, but then also to keep Sid, protected. I think Aaron deals with it pretty well. I do believe he probably has some anxiety and things from it, but he, I don't know. He powers through. He has his own interests and things that he does. So
And we've had to miss a lot of things that he would want to do, because of Sydney's situation or something comes up. So he misses out on a lot, but we tried to make up for it. I mean, he is in sports, he does certain things. We try to do certain things just for him, to make up for that stuff. So,
And sometimes it'll be one parent stays with Sydney and the other parent
Yeah.
takes Aaron and does something normal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of, it's, for lack of a better word, it kind of sucks when only one parent can go see him swim. He's on a swim team at school now, and only one of us can really go. Because generally, when you're inside a pool like that, chlorine smell is high. It's really hot in there. I just don't want to really risk. I'm less of a risk taker than she is with Sydney. I try to avoid everything, but we have gone to a few of his swim meets. She loves going for walks in the woods. We do that as often as we can because of her condition. But she likes rides. She likes to go on little roller coasters, spinny things, which just scares me to death. I don't want to ever put her on there because what happens if she has a seizure while she's on it? Well, we'll deal with that. She always says, we'll deal with that when it comes about. But she loves rides. We go to little amusement parks all the time, and she loves to go on the rides.
When you're first starting this journey, it is very difficult. You feel very overwhelmed with everything facing you, but there is hope. It does get better. As I stated before, you kind of grow in your role as a Dravet parent, and you learn how to manage things, and then it just starts to feel better, even though you're still dealing with the same stuff. You kind of know what to do and how to do it.